This is the car I've been waiting to show you. This is the Kia EV9, and it really represents the tipping point for electric cars. Electric cars that are great for families. Tons of great features. Almost 290 miles of all-electric driving, 280 miles of all-electric driving. This is the GT line, so it's the top of the line, about $70,000. There's a starting price of just about a little over $50,000 for the base model, and full-size 3-row SUV. It's basically a Kia Telluride, but electric. And we got an early first look at this car. I'm going to take you on a tour of the inside. I'm going to take you on a little test drive and show you what the key features are in the Kia EV9, which is coming to dealerships very shortly in 2024. So get ready for a pretty cool ride. This is the first chance we've had to see the Kia EV9 in person and out on the road. There aren't very many of them here in the United States yet. Kia is ramping up production so we can all have them in our $500 federal tax incentive. That's not available right now. Anything that comes to the market in the sort of the first round of Kia EV9 is not going to qualify because they'll be built in Korea. But I want you to look at these exterior details. So many people are calling this the electrified Kia Telluride. I can see certain things. It has a really nice ground clearance, so what you expect from an SUV. It's probably going to have some off-road capability. Some of the electric cars are known for that, and that's a definite bonus when it comes to electrics, is being able to drive them pretty much anywhere, all that capability. Notice this really unique front end. So it has this flat panel body color panel right there across the front where normally you would have a grille, and then it has these pixelated headlights. It really is futuristic looking, and it's quite lovely. I'm not sure this blue is the color I would choose, but there are definitely a lot of options. Inside the Kia EV9, the interior is really beautiful and very modern. I love the modern look and feel of this. So first we're gonna start it up. It's very quiet because it's electric. You can see that we have a nice range. So we've got 91% of our miles this morning, and we still have most of that range left on our battery. The modern look and feel starts with this wide flat panel display that has multimedia here, driver information over here, and it has some great technology that will allow you to make the most of your battery charge, including pulling this paddle, and I'll do that when we're driving, pulling this paddle for iPedal Max, and that gives you basically the most regenerative braking that you can get on this car. And then we also have auto hold. Another cool feature is over here. This is a completely flat panel, but you see these words in here, right? Home. So I can just tap that, and there's my home screen. There's my map. I can do a search. There's my media button, and I can set favorites there. The air vents are here. We have climate control here, so there are real buttons here as opposed to in the screen. There are charge ports here, and I really love how Kia did this, and this is something that we're seeing from the Hyundai Group. So there's 2 USB ports there, and this one allows me to toggle between data and charging. So if I don't want my Apple CarPlay to play and I'm plugging in here, I can just tap that and it won't come up. And there's a 12-volt power outlet right there. There's that really great center console tray down there, which is great for a handbag. And then here are these great cup holders. So I love these because they've had these for a while. I think they rolled them out in the Telluride. You can actually push these in to get rid of them if you want this space to be open, or you can push the button to put the cup holders out. There is auto hold here, which is just one of my favorite features. Downhill descent control. Our camera is here, so we have a nice surround view camera, and then we've got a parking sensor there. On our key, we do have the Smart Park feature, so let me show you what that looks like. I love this key, by the way. Look how pretty this is. So Kia redid the key, and it's got the controls here on the side, and so on this side we have you can hold it to open the lift gate or the panic button, lock and unlock. And on this side, there's an auto start. So if you want to heat up the car before you get in it. And then there's Smart Park. So you can use that to move the car in and out of a parking space, which is pretty cool. So we really love that. And then there is this wireless charge pad there, so you just pop your phone in there. Very small cargo space, and that's because there is a cargo drawer in the console for rear seat passengers. Our version has a live view rear view mirror, so there I am, hello, hello, and there is the live view mirror. And that's great if you have the car fully loaded or at night because it's much brighter than the reflective mirror. There are seat controls here on the door panel and on that door panel, and then window controls as well on the doors. And ours happens to have massaging seats. Kia has put a lot of thought into these seats. So Kia's really thought a lot about what you're going to do while you're charging your car, or waiting in line at the school pickup line, or waiting in line at, I don't know, other things we wait in line for, or increasingly sitting in our car waiting for appointments, or increasingly tailgating and spending time in our car. We spend a lot more time in our car. So Kia has thought about that, and they have added this feature that allows you to really relax in your seat and prop your tablet right there. There's not a lip or anything for it, but there is a footrest that pops out, and it doesn't seem to come out very far. There's a lumbar thing there, but this seat goes all the way down. So I can literally lay flat and take a nap. How crazy is that? But the really big question is the center row and the third row. Will they fit 2 or 3 child passenger car seats? Will they fit rear facing child passenger car seats? And is it easy to access the third row? And then of course, is the third row comfortable? So let's take a look. So first of all, I'm going to do the seat measure. So this is set for me. I'm 5'8", but I would say you could be even taller, 5'10" or 5'11", and sit there. And I have a nice 35 inches seat to seat. So that is absolutely enough space for one rear-facing child passenger car seat. And this seat, I'm going to move this one up. There's little buttons right here that allow me to move this seat forward. So this one I think would also accommodate. You need about 32 inches, and I have 33 here, the way that this seat is set, and actually this one has more legroom than this one. So 2 tall passengers can sit in the front, and you can have 2 rear-facing car seats. Would you be able to get past them to get into the third row? Well, that's a different question. But you might be able to, actually, pushing these seats forward, because there's a lot of space in here. Now, let's talk about what rear passengers get in terms of amenities. So we have a dual panoramic sunroof. There's a panel here and a panel here. There is a nice little tray here. You can actually open it up. You can put something there if you want to. If you needed to use this to hold something, it's got a rubberized texture, so things shouldn't fly around too much. And then you can put storage in here. There are cup holders here, USB ports in the sides of the seats, and then there are buttons here. So either the front seat, the driver, or either of the rear seat passengers can move this seat. So that's a really nice detail. The door panels are lovely. We're the GT top of the line GT version, and that has heated and cooled outboard seats, and the captain's chairs are heated and cooled, and we have air vents here in the ceiling, dome lights, and temperature control right here, which is really nice. So this is the best part of the drive. He's driving, not me. So I just want to share a little detail, and I will get behind the wheel, I promise, but I want to share a few details about what it's like behind the wheel and in the passenger seat of the Kia EV9. So I have set this seat for my position, the one behind the driver's seat, and to give equal room to each passenger if they're all 5'8", which is I'm 5'8". So I will say the leg room is a little shy here in the center in order to accommodate a 5'8" passenger in the third row. But if your passenger is a little shorter, you know, say maybe the average height of a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old, they're going to be super comfortable. My favorite thing is in this particular model, it is outfitted with synthetic leather. Synthetic leather that's actually made from reclaimed and renewable sources. And we like synthetic leather because it's lighter weight. So it actually is better for the, not only better for the environment, but it uses less energy to haul it around. So I like that. But what's my favorite thing about synthetic leather is it is not going to smell like its passengers. And so kids who are coming from sweaty sports practice or spilling something that's kind of sticky and might not smell so good in a few days easily cleans up. And that's the thing that we love the most about leather or leatherette. So I get into the third row and I'm going to push this seat back and see where it ends and how far it actually comes back. So it stops right here, a little bit short, so I would call it the kind of the mid position between the all the way forward and all the way back, so it's sort of in the middle. It's a little bit forward of this seat, and I barely have enough leg room. I could actually push the seat forward a little bit, and the person in this chair would have plenty of leg room. It would not accommodate a rear-facing. It might accommodate a rear-facing child passenger car seat, but I can't push it much further forward than it is already. And then this seat is all the way back. Now I do appreciate the pass-through because if you're in the third row, that just gives you a lot of comfort and a lot of the feeling of being open and airy. So what do passengers get in the third row? I've got cup holders on either side. I've got a USB port on either side, and I have 2 full sets of child passenger car seat, lower anchors, and 2 full sets here. So 2 and 2, and 2 in the back seat. So there's 4. This rear bench seats 2 passengers, and it's ample space. It seems very comfortable. I really like the plenty of headroom here, air vents here. I've got lighting here, and then there's the climate panel there, so I can see very clearly what the climate is set for. If you're going to have kids in the back row or adults, you have these nice air vents in the ceiling. Everybody will be really comfortable, which is a nice thing. So with all that lovely leg room and headroom in the third row, you're probably expecting that there's not a lot of cargo space. And that's a nice surprise because Kia did give us quite a bit of cargo space. Actually, and if you look over here, so there's actually a little space where the rear wheels pop out here. There is included, it's got Velcro in the back so it will stick. There is an included charge kit, and then let's look and see what is underneath the cargo floor, because there's probably even a little more space. So a little bit, there's just a little panel there with a space for a few little things, but we have some nice cargo space, and I'm gonna say it's a pretty good tailgating cargo area. So I can't fit in here. My head won't fit in there, but I fit comfortably here for tailgating, and there's a fair amount of space. So you could probably fit 2 or 3 rollerboard bags, easily a tandem stroller, easily diaper bags, and maybe a hockey bag or 2. So there's actually a good amount of space here in the cargo area. And then also this one has the electronic door close, so I like that. So once you've started it up and listened to that very silent very silent motor, you can put it in drive and away you go. And that's kind of where the similarity to any other car or any other SUV that Kia builds is the same. That's where the similarity starts and where it's pretty consistent. It drives like any other car. You don't have to do anything different. It feels really comfortable on the road. The suspension is quite nice. Acceleration is quite nice. And I do really love one pedal driving. And I'm going to show you because I've got it in iPedal Max now. And I'm in a busy park. There's a lot of pedestrians and dog walkers and morning joggers. And all I have to do is really tap the accelerator just a little bit, give it just sort of modulating the pressure on the accelerator, and that's how I regulate my speed. It's not about pressing the gas and then pressing the brake and going back and forth. I don't really have to do that. When I want to slow down, I just let up on the accelerator and I'll come to a full stop. And after a while, you get used to how much pressure you need to take off of the accelerator to come to a full stop, and you'll learn to not ever use your brakes. And the cool thing about that is if you don't really use your brakes, you don't really need to replace your brakes. And I had a car once, not saying which brand, and I had replaced my brakes twice a year, and I wasn't doing anything. I was driving toddlers around to preschool, so it wasn't like it wasn't like track driving or anything. It was an SUV, and I'd replace the brakes twice a year, and that got expensive. You know, a full brake replacement can be $1,000. So thinking about saving $1,000 every year or two by not having to replace brakes is a really nice savings on top of the savings of fueling this car. So let's talk about the power plant in the Kia EV9. So Kia's power plant is really good. It has a charging infrastructure inside the car that allows it to use maximum charge capacity at a DC fast charger. So if you go to a 225 or a 300 or 350 kilowatt charge DC fast charger, you should plug this in every night to a level 2 charger, which is basically a clothes dryer. You know, the larger outlet that you have for a clothing dryer, that's essentially the outlet that you need. And that plug that they have here in this car, you could plug that into a clothes dryer outlet, which is a 240 volt, and you'll be able to charge this overnight, probably in about 6 to 8 hours. And that is the way to do it, because that slower delivery of electricity to the battery actually will make the battery more efficient and last longer. And that's what all the experts say you should do, is charge your battery often and use a level 2 charger. If you were going to plug it into a regular household outlet, which you can do, that might take several days to replenish the charge in this car, because it is a lot of miles, and I think it charges at something like 2 or 3 miles per hour of charging. So you're not going to get the delivery of electricity that you need to replenish that battery. But then also think about it this way. You could drive this car every day, and if you only drive, say, 30 or 40 miles, plug it into a level 1 household outlet at night, and you probably would replenish those 20 or 30 miles that you've driven every day. And then once every few weeks, take it to a DC fast charger and get it up to 80%. So there's some really good options for charging this car, and a lot of it has to do with the way that Kia structured the infrastructure, the power plant in this car. And 280 miles on a charge, and to have all-wheel drive is pretty stellar. The best in the industry right now are getting about 300 miles on a charge and still offering all-wheel drive with a dual motor setup. So it's a pretty good setup, and will give you the confidence that you need for daily driving, and then even for road trips heading to Disney. If you can drive 250 to 275 miles at a stretch and be able to find DC fast chargers along the way, it is going to be no problem. Disney World will be in your future. I love these headrests. So these are actually just a net. There is a cushion here, but it's just a net that covers it, and it is so beautiful. but it's also really comfortable, surprisingly comfortable. It feels much more like a pillow than a headrest. And I can totally see taking a nice long road trip and just relaxing behind the wheel, putting on the adaptive cruise, putting on some good music, and putting my head in this headrest. I like it a lot. Kia's mission is to build cars that everyone wants to drive, cars that make your life fun, cars that make your life fancy, and cars that deliver everything that you, your family, your friends, and those who ride around with you want to be in. And the EV9 is exactly that. It's filled with beautiful luxuries, it's filled with a lot of creature comforts, and for those who really want to be a part of the electric future, it is all that too.